What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Lycan here, back not a Marvel Rival video, but a High Guard video. This video is going to be my first impressions about High Guard. I just ended stream. I had about a 5-hour stream, and I want to sit back and talk about the game and all of that. But before we get started on that, can you do me a favor? Like the video if you enjoy it. Comment down below any questions or anything you want to comment down below. And I'm also trying to get partnered on YouTube. So if you enjoy this video or any other videos I put out, please subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. And follow all of my social media links. They will be in the description box down below. But enough of that. Let's get into the first impressions of High Guard. So you come into the game and it reminds you of Valorant in that it's a buy phase where you can buy starter gear and really decide how you want to play. Me being the hyper aggro rushdown type player that I am, I went with a assault rifle and a submachine gun. So I could duel in the mid to long range and also have something for close quarters. After using what I believe it's called the Dynasty and the Viper, the guns feel fun and balanced. The only thing that felt like, whoa, this might be a little OP is the shotgun, and that's simply because it was hitting at ranges it didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense that a shotgun could hit that far, but also the game is brand new, so I could just let it go. Afterwards, you get what I believe is 30 to 50 seconds to reinforce your base. And at this point, it's 2 reactor things you can protect. And if blown up, they damage your base. And then you have the main reactor, in which if it's blown up, GG go next, they win. And for me personally, I always reinforce the main reactor because I feel I'm always the type of person I never give up until the fat lady sing, and I don't hear no fat bitch singing, so we gonna keep this going kind of thing. And so as long as I get another crack at it, I feel as though we can make a comeback. So my personal philosophy and thought process was, hey, reinforce the main reactor, ensure we get to at least the next round, the next gear up phase. The gear system goes white, blue, purple, orange, and then red. Obviously, higher tier loot is better, with white being the base and red being the max or the best. Side note, I find it funny that they have a quick time event from RPG games for your melee when you are mining the materials to give to the shopkeeper to buy gear. If you time it right, you mine ore faster than if you just try to hack away at it or you waste bullets shooting it. It's the funniest thing ever. But during the gear up phase, you pretty much are running around and, well, gearing up. You'll find crates or chests with loot in them, and you can kit your character depending upon your play style, which is actually fun and cool. And I really enjoyed it. This is just my first impression, but none of the abilities seem overpowered. None of the abilities that seemed overpowered are actually overpowered. And for the most part, they are balanced. Now, once again, this is also early. This is early on in the game's life cycle. So who knows what comes out later and what players might figure out later. But right now, the game feels pretty balanced. After the gear phase will be the shield breaker forming phase, and at this point a timer will begin to count down, and you are heavily advised to start making your way there to get into what's game forces you into your first team enemy fight. But now, while the gear up phase is going on, you can still very much ignore all of this and just charge into the enemy base with white guns. And if your team is better, then you can just spawn trap them there, and it's definitely hard, but it's doable. So you don't have to necessarily follow the flow of the game. It's just heavily advised, because if you don't, they might get an advantage on you depending upon a better skilled party. Also, there will be a special chest that spawns with rare loot in it. The game will announce where it is and when it's coming, and you should move towards it when once available. The loot in it is enough that it will swing the fight, but as the game progresses, your loot, it's almost like a catch-up mechanic. If they don't just snowball you, the game loot will even out by the end. Once someone has the shield breaker, you then have to make your way towards the enemy base and place it in the sigil. Now there are multiple entrances, so you should open your map and find out where the shield bearer is going. If you are find out where the shield bearer is going if you're defending. But if you are attacking, you don't really have to force one particular entrance. So if you feel as though your team can't get this one angle, you can just go around to another angle and place it there and open it up from that side. You don't have to go down one specific area. Once placed, a giant cart will come out and open up your base for the enemy team to invade. And it's at this moment you have to work with your team to defend all 3 points, those reactors I was talking about earlier, and kill the enemy team enough time that either they run out of lives or the bomb is planted and one of the site reactors blows up. So, remember earlier when I said the main reactor that I always reinforce? Well, if that's blown up, GG go next, y'all lose. You defend better. But if it isn't and it's one of the other reactors, then the enemy team is teleported back to their base and whoever was attacking gets credit for damaging the base and the other team has now an opportunity to repair their base. Afterwards, it's back to the gear up phase and it's honestly a rinse and repeat of the same cycle you did. But now as the timer goes, you get an increase in loot. So beforehand, you might not find purple or red or even orange gear in the first shield breaker, the first starting point when they break the shield. But afterwards, you might get an orange gun. That special crate now might drop orange guns or orange armor or whatnot. So as the game progresses, the loot tier increases, and that's what I meant by earlier, the catch-up mechanic, because that's what it honestly feels like. It feels like if you don't blow up the main reactor initially, then it's a catch-up mechanic almost with the loot. So now it's higher tier loot, everything is increased, and go again and see if you can get it this time, kind of thing. Now that I've explained the gameplay cycle and how it's played, let's talk about the game and the community overall. HIGHGUARD's getting a lot of negative media because they did a weird cycle of not putting anything out and letting the gameplay do the talking itself. You have a lot of people who are going to shit on this game for likes and views, and more than likely, they haven't even played it yet. Let me be clear, I'm not saying this game is perfect or the best thing since sliced bread. The game is fun though, but it has its quitting issues already at launch. A number of games I've had where the amount of people just quit is shocking. Also, it's early, but the Kraken shoddy might be kinda OP. I don't know just yet. What I will say to wrap up my first impressions of HIGHGUARD is this. I had a good time playing the game for the 5 hours that I did play, but I'm also not oblivious or stupid. It's a team-based game, and these type of games live and die by your team. With people quitting and not really understanding how to play, I can see this game being a great game to play with your friends, and it's something new and unique. But as a solo player, I will check this game out from time to time, and I'll definitely stream it, but I don't see long-term success with this game in solo play. Comment, subscribe. It's your boy Liking, and I'm out. Peace.